the grower called me one day and just said, hey, we have a problem out here. The field is looking horrible. The leaves are curled. You know, we're having 100-degree temperatures roughly.
Denver Bike with Soilcraft. I'm out here in the field joined with Steve Rapp. Steve is one of our senior agronomists here, not because of his age,
Partly.
just because he rocks. But this is one of your fields, Stephen, here, and we're standing in a field of melons. And this is a special melon field for you, right? Because there's a story behind it. Mm-hmm. So can you tell me a little bit about it? Like you're working with an incredibly good, reputable melon producer, mm-hmm. and you've just been trying to help him out with various things. Tell me a little bit about this field.
Yeah, like Denver said, he's, I think, one of the best melon growers in our state and maybe in the Northwest. My wife will only buy his melons because they're that good. He's got it figured out. But there came a point about 5-6 weeks ago where this field had been looking really good, had good melon set. They were getting close to the first pick, and the grower called me one day and just said, hey, we have a problem out here. The field is looking horrible. You know, we're having 100-degree temperatures roughly. So the melons were trying to size, suck in water. The plant was trying to live, thrive, grow, expand, put on more fruit. And you cannot have leaves curling up and going into cripple mode. Yeah. Something's off. It's just a sign. And he told me, he said, whenever we see that, like, you know, basically the next thing to happen is they just start dying. And then, you know, we're done. It was suggested by the grower that it was probably Fusarium. And so we're like, okay, that's a bad deal, but you know, we're not left without tools to deal with Fusarium. Yeah. So we started looking through what our options were. And so after conversing with our team, we suggested a couple of those very proven biological tools to our grower and said, this is what we would do to stop. If you have Fusarium, this is what you need to do right now, today. He wanted to use both of them. So we split the field in half. On the one half, we did one of our awesome essential oil products.
Biopesticide?
Yeah, biopesticide. So we did that on one half, and on the other half, we did a microbial biological product at a very, very high rate. So we did an application, waited about 10 days, and kind of keeping tabs with them, like, hey, are we seeing anything? Whatever, I'd come back out, like, well, there's guys out there picking. Came out one time, the field was so bad and so bare that melons were exposed, sunburn was happening, but I saw they were putting a lot of effort into it. There were guys out there that put straw over, it's a 90-acre field. They're out putting straw over the melons. They're putting dirt on top of the melon because they're already sunburned in this field. They were putting dirt on top of the melons to protect the crop that was there, to try to, because it was so bad, the vegetation had diminished so bad. I think two things I'd like to also mention that are very important to note is that the grower was guessing on Fusarium, and that's fine. I mean, sometimes you just have to. You don't have time to do anything else. You have to guess. If he was wrong, we would hopefully hit the one that it really was. Right. So it wasn't. It was kind of a guess, but we also knew that it was multifaceted what we were going to apply. So what if he was wrong? It was still going to help for what we were seeing out there. We did some soil and plant test. I did a plant test first, and instead of being Fusarium, it was Verticillium. Like 10 is the highest. It was at a 9 in the plant, and then we sent in some soil, and we saw some similar activity in the soil. But I think at that point we'd already had an application on, so I think it was starting to get better. And secondly, he could keep picking. There was no ban on re-entry into the field. He was ready for his first pick, and maybe he was even starting to already. But he could keep on going. The products allowed him. He didn't have to stop and wait 1 day or 3 days or 5 days. No pre-harvest interval. He was able to go right back. He was able to keep going. And so I think that's also important. And that says a lot about the product too. That the program, the product, that you know, if you don't have to wait to go back in, that's saying something for it.
That's right.
Then on to the bonus section. God never told Adam and Eve, oh, hold up, don't come in the garden. You got to wait 3 days. I just nuked it. Exactly. And so you can come back in. Like, it was constantly, day in and day out. There was no need for re-entry bans.
That's right.
So
there should.
So maybe we can't do that overnight, but can we not work towards that?
We are working towards it. I mean, this is proof. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate, Steve, that you were so adamant and confident because you've seen results in the past. You've seen fields do this, to be able to say, hey, this is what we do, because we know when we use these things, we don't see those diseases.
Yep.
So this is what we do, because when we use it, we don't see those things. So let's use it, and it will make the soils healthier, it will make the crop healthier, and lo and behold, when you make the soils healthier and crop healthier, the disease goes away, because healthy plants resist pests and diseases.
Yep.
So we're not saying we're coming out here to kill the bad thing. We're saying that there are tools that make healthy plants and healthy soils, and then they become not diseased.
We want the bad to become a food source for our good biology.
that's
and
right.
so we turned them into a meal. Instead of them being the predator, they became the prey.
Wow. Hey, thanks for tuning in and watching our content. We really appreciate you and appreciate you watching our videos. Please like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing here. Also, look down in the description down below for our website, link to our Regen Agronomy podcast, and our phone numbers and email, etc. Reach out to us, please, if you want to know more about the content you see here in the videos.
Look behind you.
We've been talking a lot lately. We've got the comedy crew. We never leave home without them.